The first book I read was The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan, and it is about two Greek demigods, Annabeth and Percy, and they travel to Camp Jupiter, which is a Roman camp, and the Greeks and Romans don't get along together because of their past. So Annabeth and Percy need to travel to Rome to follow the Mark of Athena and stop the war from happening between the Greeks and the Romans. I would rate this book a 9 out of 10 because in the beginning it was really slow, but in the middle it they would encounter a lot of monsters. They encountered a lot of monsters that they would have to defeat to move on with their quest. And I would recommend this book to anyone who likes the other Percy Jackson books or the Percy Jackson movies. And my passage is on page 6. And it was when Percy got his memory wiped and he was sent to Camp Jupiter. And it says, without warning, Hero plucked up Percy Jackson, Annabeth's boyfriend, wiped his memory and sent him to a Roman camp. In exchange, the Greeks got Jason. None of that was Jason's fault, but every time Annabeth saw him, she remembered how much she missed Percy. And my second book is Dreaming in Cuban by Christina Garcia. And Dreaming in Cuban is the story of 4 Cuban women dealing with the repercussions of the Cuban Revolution. And Celia is the main character, and she falls in love with a man named Gustavo, who eventually leaves her to go back to Spain, which puts her in a great deal of depression, and she doesn't get out of her bed for 8 weeks. I would rate this book at 10 out of 10 because there is good character development and a great backstory. I recommend this book to people who like other books by Christina Garcia, like King of Cuba. And the page I chose was on page 5. And it's when she sees her husband who had left her, and he was standing on the beach. But she can't quite pick out what he's trying to say to her. And it says, her husband moves his mouth carefully, but she cannot read his immense lips. His jaw turns and swells with each word, faster, until Celia feels the warm breath of his breath in her face, and then he disappears. And that was just like when she saw him on the beach.